Hi, Mr. Minnick here, explaining to my beginner Python students how to make their code look good. So here we have an example from Matt K, donated from period 11, 2016, 2017. He's got all this code here that I see in the left window at trinket.io, and then the output of it is what we see here on the right screen. Let's run the program. Okay, very complicated. He has buildings and nighttime re-record. Here we are in Mr. Minnick's class, helping intro Python students format their code so it looks sharp. Here's a Python program donated from Matt K, a period 11 student. He's got the code that we see here on the left, and it matches up with the output that's produced here graphically on the right. So notice how he correctly put his name at the top and his class period in the format that I do a call for on the specs. Although my specs do ask for there to be a space there and there, so I wish he would have been perfect and had a space there. I like import turtle being on a line with a blank line above and below it. That looks good. These three lines of code kind of go together, so the blank line below there on line 9 is kind of good. If you don't have a speed adjustment in your program, that's fine. You could still separate those two lines of code. You could put those two together, that's fine. If you don't like the color midnight blue, if you do everything in the default black, that's fine also. So you might only have one these actually two lines of code at the top of your program. So you might have something like that, where he optionally has these extra two lines of code. Either way, that whole area is, especially below the import, I sometimes call that like, I throw a bunch of stars in there. I say setting up the graphic window. That's the kind of thing that you like add as descriptive explanation of why that code is there. Now let's look at this next section that he offset with some white space, some blank lines. Oh, that's the night sky, perfectly explanatory. And down here's the moon. But he should have lined up these two hashtags vertically. Now that's perfect, look at that. And I do like the space in there when possible. Now that's even more perfect. Some people, instead of putting their comments over in the right margin like that, they put their comments right above the corresponding code. That's fine too. He's a to the right kind of guy, so I'm going to put it back where it was. That was perfectly fine, but it should be lined up vertically when possible. Okay, the moon section, self-explanatory. First building, I'm going to put space in there, make sure it's lined up with that hashtag, comment symbol. Now here we go. Here's a section where he can't really line it up. If we line it up, it's kind of like really close to this, which is fine, and I'm going to let that go like that. Okay, so basically I'm sweeping through Matt K's code and I'm fixing up the alignment of his comments. But at least he had these nice green comments in here. If he didn't have these green comments in, it would be very hard for somebody else to figure out what this code draws over here in this complicated scene. If they had to maintain the program the next year and change the color of something to perhaps like white, they might not know which section of the code to go to if it were not for his nice green comments. Okay, scrolling down, sometimes it does work out that you can't line these things up vertically. Well, then just do the best you can. At least line up as many of the comments as you can. Okay, like this one should be definitely spaced out. Okay, the rest of this I will do off screen there, off video. And then he has his name printed out in a write command, which is a requirement for the drawing project in 2016 from Mr. Minnick. So it looks good. Otherwise, I can't wait to grade the program.